Hello, hello, and welcome back to Beyond Common Business Secrets. I'm your host, Tracey Watts Cirino. And for those of you that are new here, you know, for those of you that have been here a while, I should say, you know that Beyond Common Business Secrets is all about the inner game of high ticket success, mastering mindset, communication, and soul aligned action. And for those of you that are new here, now you know. Welcome. So, today we are going to be talking about one of the biggest shifts that happen when you stop building your business around being available to everyone. Oh, I know that's so scary, right? It's so scary. And I remember years and years ago, this was scary for me too. And you start building a business that attracts the right people. So I want that shift to land for you, right? You're going to stop being available to everyone and start building your business to attract the right people for you. So, and that shift is this. It is you stop trying to convince people that you're valuable because, friend, you're already valuable. You have nothing to prove, you have no one to convince. And when you do that, you start becoming the obvious choice for the right clients. Because one of the biggest frustrations I hear from business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, authors, and experts is, I know I'm good at what I do, and it took me a really long time to get here. It took me a really long time to gain the level of confidence where I can say, I know I'm good at what I do. I know I can help people. And I know the work that I do gets results. So why does it feel like I'm competing for attention? Why does it feel like I'm performing like a circus, like a circus act over here just for attention? And this is where I want to challenge something. This is where things get sticky, especially in the online space. The goal is not to be the loudest online, right? Even though that's what I think a lot of the messaging and gurus would have us believe. The goal is not to create endless content just to prove yourself. That is not the goal. The goal is to communicate your value so crystal clear that the right people recognize. And you must first know with every fiber of your being that you are valuable, right? So you know first, it's like give yourself a hug. You know first that you are valuable. And then you recognize with like that heart-centeredness that the goal is to communicate the value so crystal clear that the right people recognize. So it becomes this is exactly who I need. And it's so then easy for the right clients to find you. So today we're talking about the premium client attraction shift, right? This shift that moves you from competing to becoming the most obvious choice for the premium clients that are already looking for you. So most business owners and entrepreneurs are taught to compete, right? It's like kind of old school laws of business. They're taught to look at what everyone else is doing. They compare. They're competing on prices. They compare their prices, their content, their offers, their followers, their visibility. And they start thinking, how do I stand out? Right? That's like the normal thing that sort of the normal BS bill of goods that we've been sold. But here's the real truth. I want you to ask yourself this. Like, did that ever feel good for you? In any way, does it feel good? Because here's the truth. Premium clients are not looking, they are not looking for the person who stands out the most online, right? Like stands on their head and is so loud. They're looking for the person who understands them the most. That is who premium clients want to work with, right? The person who can articulate the problem that they're already having, but they have not been able to fully explain it to themselves yet. When you can do that for your clients, the premium clients search for you. That person who makes them think, finally, someone gets me. That I need you. How do I work with you? Right? Like that's that feeling that you want to happen. So one of the biggest mistakes I see is that a lot of incredible business owners describe themselves based on what they do. So, what do I mean by that? So, they say, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm a strategist, I'm a hairstylist, I'm a business owner. What business? Right? I'm a designer, I'm a freelancer. Of what? I'm a healer. Cool. Of what? And those things are all true. They're all true. But a title alone rarely creates a buyer, a buying decision. Like that doesn't happen naturally in a conversation just because you've shared your title. So, because your buyer's not walking around thinking, I need someone with that title. Like they're never thinking that. Like even as a business coach, it's like people are having a list of different problems in their business. So they're looking for a coach that would solve that specific problem. They have never woke up thinking, oh, I need a business coach, right? That is where it gets like so sticky. So think like put yourself in that same frame. Have you ever like woke up thinking, oh, well, I need this specific title? Like that's rare, right? So I want you to really think about how you even have found the best people for you to work with. It's typically that your client is thinking, I need this problem solved, right? I need this problem solved. I need this result. I need someone who understands where I am, who's been here before. The question isn't, what do you do? The deeper question is, what transformation do you create for your clients? That is more of what your content needs to explain. And this is true whether you're meeting someone in person, casually in line at the coffee shop, or you're creating your content and how you show up in the online space. Like this is true in both ways. So premium clients think differently. They're not only asking, how much does this cost? They're asking, can I trust this person? Right? Can I trust this person? Do they understand my situation? Uh, do I believe they will create the result I want and need? Right? Because when clients want and need what you have to offer, they are willing to pay a premium because they already know in their heart that it's correct for them. So I want you to think about this. This trust, it comes from clarity, right? When when they ask that question, and this happens again subconsciously, do I believe this will create the result I want? It's like that trust comes from clarity. When your message clearly communicates a few very specific things. It it communicates who you help, what problem you specifically solve, and what changes because of working with you. You create a confidence in that buyer before you so that they can confidently have a buying decision. And that confidence is what allows people to invest in you. It's what allows people to say, oh my goodness, this is what I've been looking for. Where have you been all my life? Here's my credit card. Like that reaction of, oh my goodness, this is like what I've been losing sleep over. I need your help. Here's my credit card. How sign me up? How do I work with you? Like that's the piece, right? It's so funny because I could go to a networking event anywhere in the world and I could say, "Oh, I'm a business coach. I'm a business growth strategist." I could say all those things, right? But when I say clearly, I help experts, business owners, authors, coaches write their marketing message, right? I help them say what they do in a way that makes people buy. I turn your expertise into buyer language. People are like instantaneously either, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I need. That's the piece that's been missing in my business. Um, or they have a family member that's like, oh, they've needed you forever. I'm the person that I wish people knew what I did with the buyer language, with creating the voice to cash methodology and the money messaging framework, like with creating these things, like I wish that people found me way before they ever had a website because if you're able to speak your money messaging out into the world in the beginning stages of your business, you're going to 10x your income because even your family and friends who have no clue what you do will be so dialed in and have crystal clear clarity on what you do that you'll get referrals right out of the gate. So that's very specific and it makes it so easy for people to sign up to work with me and for other people to refer people to me. And I want that for you. That's the specificity. I wish I could say that word more clear, but that's specifically what I want for you. Um, so a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid to get specific. They think that, well, what if I narrow my audience and lose opportunities? But here is what happens when you stay vague. You might appeal to everyone, but you deeply connect with no one. So there's there's no remembrance of you. People don't remember you enough to refer people to you, right? So I want you to think about the difference. I help, like, if this was your business, like, I help people become healthier versus I help busy women create sustainable wellness habits so they can have more energy without completely changing their lives. Yeah, that feels good. That is something that we shifted for one of my clients that's a wellness coach. And this was a game changer for her. So the second one creates a picture because our human brain loves stories and our mind on its own subconsciously is creating stories. So when you kind of walk people through that, it's really a beautiful thing. So the second a person creates a picture, it creates recognition that lasts long after you are not together, right? So that recognition is what creates action. Like that casual meeting when people heard my client say, I help busy women create sustainable wellness habits so they can have more energy without completely changing their lives. The person that's already looking for her, knowing that they needed a shift, they might have already been talking to their husband about this or their business partner, and they're going to go home and say, oh, I met this woman today and she's exactly what I need. So that's something that creates remembrance. And that's what you want. I even tie this all the way back to like my days in the salon. In the very beginning, we thought, oh yeah, we do hair. But do you really want to do everyone's hair? What about like the man that only has three strands of hair on his head. Is that really your ideal client? Well, no, it's not. And so from there, you go into more specificity of who you really enjoy working with. And for the longest time back in my hair salon career, it was that I did color. Like I became a hair color expert. And then over time, I became a blonding expert. I was a hair color correction transformation specialist. Like there were things that it kept refining and evolving. It was never like, oh yeah, we do hair. Like that was never what we were known for because every salon in a 5 mile radius of where you live does hair. But what makes each location stand out? So, no matter what your industry, what your business, you want it to be so crystal clear. So, I have fully lived this in my own life. Like I have lived this, as I said, I could say I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a business strategist. I help entrepreneurs. These are all true. These are all true. Still do these on a daily basis, right? All true. But the transformation is where the connection actually happens. So I help experts say what they do so people actually buy. That's a profound thing. And like you feel it energetically. It sounds so much different than I'm a business strategist, right? It's true. But I help experts say what they do so people actually buy makes you picture exactly who that buyer is. And whether it's you or your friend, you're like, that's memorable. So when I say I translate their brilliance and expertise into money messaging that makes their ideal clients understand the value of what they offer, it's like, oh, that's what my friend's been struggling with in her business. Tracey, I need to refer you to Sally. And it's so simple and clean. So that is when someone thinks, oh, that's my problem. That's when your messaging starts working so crystal clear. Like that's when it's like, oh, the heavens open up. So that's the shift we're always looking for. And that's what makes it so important. And that is actually why I created the money messaging training. And this money messaging training is a short training that walks you through how to create this shift for yourself in your business, no matter where you're at. So, if you're listening today, and I want you to ask yourself, are you trying to prove your value? Like, really, really contemplate that and ask yourself, are you trying to prove your value? Or are you truly communicating your value with clarity? Because those are two very different things, right? One feels like confidence and conviction that you're the person for them, and the other one feels like pushing and convincing. So ask yourself, because my friend, you don't have to chase clients. You don't have to convince everyone. Your job is to create clarity, right? Is to create clarity from this place of confidence and conviction within. And the right people will recognize themselves. They self-select. So it's so beautiful and so much easier for you to do business because it just takes the pressure off of you and off of your buyers. So, if you want to learn how to turn your expertise into the messaging that attracts aligned buyers, my free money messaging training is available through the link in the show notes. And that's exactly why I created it for you. Inside this short training, I walk you through the foundation of creating messaging that creates recognition and connection, right? It creates that moment that makes you memorable so that people can actually make the buying decision. So, your business grows when your audience understands your value. Your expertise is valuable. Your message is the bridge. And that is that sort of beautiful package that creates that buyer decision. So, as always, congratulations for being here. We value and appreciate your time. And thank you for listening to Beyond Common Business Secrets. If this landed with you and resonates with you, leave us a 5-star review and inform us what is working for you. And share this episode with your business bestie. As always, take care and stay beyond amazing. And I will see you on the next one.